Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Ready to dive in?
Always. Today we're looking at AI projects making a real difference.
Projects with a clear social impact.
Yeah, stuff that can actually change people's lives for the better. We've been sifting through a ton of material from AI Daily News Digest.
Articles, Reddit threads, Discord chats.
The whole 9 yards. We're on a mission to bring you the most impactful projects in AI right now.
It's amazing to see how much is happening.
It really is. So what really jumped out at you during all this research? What were some of the standouts?
One that kept popping up everywhere was DeepSeek v3.
DeepSeek v3, huh? I think I saw that name a couple of times. What's all the buzz about?
It's making waves, especially when it comes to making AI more accessible.
Accessible. How so?
Well, for one thing, think about the cost.
Okay, cost is always a factor.
DeepSeek v3 can process text at a fraction of the cost of some of the bigger names out there.
You mean like GPT-4o and those guys?
Exactly. We're talking 0.27 per million tokens compared to $2.50 for GPT-4o.
Whoa, hold on. That's a huge E difference.
It's a game changer, especially for, say, a nonprofit or a small company trying to use AI to do some good.
That makes sense. But can it really hold its own against those big players? I mean, in terms of performance.
That's the interesting thing. It actually outperforms GPT-4o in a lot of benchmarks. It can handle a massive amount of information at once, what they call a context window.
Context window.
Think of it like short-term memory for AI. DeepSeek v3 has a massive one, 64,000 tokens, perfect for tasks that need a lot of background information.
So it's cheaper, it's faster, and it's more powerful.
And to top it all off, it's open source.
Meaning anyone can use it.
Anyone can use it, modify it, even run it locally on their own computer.
So no need for fancy cloud computing setups.
Not necessarily. It really opens up the possibilities for research and development.
No kidding. We were talking about AI scraping data without permission earlier. Does DeepSeek v3 address any of those ethical concerns?
They've been pretty transparent about their process, released videos of their team training the model, even made their research papers public.
Transparency is always a good sign. So where can people go to learn more about DeepSeek v3?
Their website and GitHub page are great places to start. All the details are right there.
Perfect. DeepSeek v3, definitely one to keep an eye on. What else stood out to you?
Well, this one is tackling a pretty huge challenge. AIDE.
AIDE.
It's an AI-powered medical assistant. It really turned heads at the Lokahi Innovation in Healthcare Hackathon.
An AI medical assistant.
Yeah.
Now that sounds interesting. How does that even work?
Think about it. You could talk to an AI about your symptoms, get real-time guidance.
Like a virtual doctor's visit.
In a way, yeah. It uses voice recognition and AI to interact with patients. It can collect information and even help healthcare providers with diagnoses.
Wow, that sounds like it could be a game changer, especially for people who might not have easy access to healthcare.
Exactly. Rural communities, folks with mobility issues, anyone struggling to get a doctor's appointment.
Makes sense.
Uh,
Are there any downsides or challenges with this kind of technology?
of course. One of the big ones is accuracy and reliability.
That's a biggie, especially when it comes to healthcare.
Right. Diagnoses are complex, and the AI has to provide safe and effective guidance. There's also the question of patient privacy, a huge concern.
Absolutely. Sounds like AIDE has the potential to make a real difference, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
That's the case with most AI projects, especially in a field like healthcare, but the potential benefits are huge.
I see what you mean. Is this something that individuals will be able to use, or is it more for healthcare professionals?
It's still early days, but the goal is to make it accessible to everyone. Imagine having an AI medical assistant on your phone, ready whenever you need it.
That would be incredible. Okay, so we've got an AI that can process tons of text and another one that can act as a medical assistant. What else is out there?
How about an AI that can help you make sense of millions of PDFs?
Millions? Seriously?
You heard that right. We're drowning in information these days, and PDFs are notoriously tough to work with.
Yeah, no kidding. Trying to find something specific in a PDF can be a nightmare.
Exactly. But a project called LlamaIndex is tackling this head-on.
LlamaIndex, okay.
I'm listening.
It uses some pretty advanced AI to understand the content of millions of PDFs. But here's the cool part. You can ask it questions in plain English, like you're talking to a person, and it'll search through all those PDFs and give you an answer. Hold on, so I could ask it something like, what are the main arguments for and against universal basic income? And it would just pull that information from a mountain of PDFs.
Exactly. It's like having a super-powered research assistant who's read everything. And to make it even wilder, It can even talk back to you.
Talk back.
It integrates with LlamaCloud and ElevenLabs to give it a voice. You can actually hear the answers.
That's wild. Who's using this kind of tech in the real world?
Think researchers, journalists, anyone who needs to dig through a ton of documents quickly. It could revolutionize how we do research and analysis.
I bet students would love this too.
Absolutely. Imagine asking a question and getting a complete answer based on the latest research and data.
Sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. So LlamaIndex is all about making information more accessible. That's definitely a good thing. But are there any downsides? Any potential risks?
Well, you always have to be mindful of accuracy.
That's true with any source of information, I guess.
Right. AI is still under development, and it's important to be critical of the information it gives you. Always double check and make sure the information is coming from reliable sources.
Good point. Can't just blindly trust any AI, no matter how impressive it seems.
Exactly. Use these tools as aids, not replacements for your own judgment.
Okay, so LlamaIndex is helping us navigate the massive sea of information out there. What other tools have you come across?
Let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about something that's changing how we write software. Cursor IDE.
Cursor IDE. I'm not much of a coder, so you might have to break that down for me.
Basically, it's an AI-powered coding companion. Imagine having an AI pair programmer right there with you, helping you write code.
Like an AI tutor for coding. Does that mean programmers don't need to know how to code anymore?
Not at all. It's about making developers more efficient and effective, not replacing them entirely. Cursor IDE can help with tasks, catch errors, even suggest better ways to do things. But you still need a solid understanding of coding.
So it's like having an assistant that can handle the tedious parts, freeing up developers to focus on the creative and complex stuff.
Exactly. It's becoming super popular in the developer community. Helps them code faster with fewer errors, leading to better software overall.
And better software benefits everyone who uses it, right?
But precisely. That's a prime example of AI having a positive social impact.
I see what you mean. It's not just about cool tech. It's about making a real difference.
And Cursor IDE is just one example. There are tons of AI tools changing the landscape of software development.
AI seems to be shaking things up in a lot of industries.
It's happening fast, too. The pace of innovation is incredible.
Exciting times. Okay, so far we've covered AI that can process tons of text, provide medical guidance, make sense of millions of PDFs, and even help us write better code. What else is out there that's making a difference?
There are some amazing projects using AI to make technology more accessible for people with disabilities.
That's fantastic. What kind of projects are we talking about?
Well, one area is speech recognition.
Speech recognition.
Yeah. AI-powered speech recognition is helping people with speech impairments communicate more easily. There are also projects focused on making interfaces more user-friendly for people with visual or motor impairments.
Wow. So AI is helping to break down barriers and level the playing field.
That's the goal. It's about empowering people and creating a more inclusive world.
This has been a fascinating deep dive so far.
And we've only scratched the surface.
I can't wait to see what else is out there.
Back for more.
Always ready for round 2. Last time, we were talking about some pretty incredible AI projects.
Just getting started. This time, we're going to dig into AI and creativity and education.
2 areas where AI is really making a splash. What have you got for us?
Well, one thing that's been blowing my mind is how AI is helping people express themselves in totally new ways.
Like what kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Think about AI-powered music generators. You don't even need to play an instrument to create your own music.
That's pretty wild.
Or AI tools that can help writers craft stories, generate plot ideas, even offer stylistic suggestions.
So it's like having an AI writing partner.
Kind of, yeah. It's really breaking down barriers. You don't need years of training or expensive gear to create something amazing.
That's really cool. I bet that could be especially impactful for young people. Really spark their imaginations.
Absolutely. And speaking of education, AI is making some huge waves there, too.
All right, let's talk about that. How is AI transforming education?
One big area is personalized learning. Imagine every student having a virtual tutor that adapts to their own needs and style.
A personalized AI tutor. That sounds futuristic.
It's closer than you think. There are AI-powered platforms that can figure out a student's strengths and weaknesses, see where they need extra help, even tailor lessons to their interests.
So no more one-size-fits-all approach to learning.
Exactly. It factors in their pace, their preferences, even their emotional state. This can make a huge difference in how motivated and engaged a student is.
That makes sense. It's tough to keep everyone on the same page in a traditional classroom.
Right. Traditional models often fall short when it comes to meeting individual needs. AI is helping to change that.
Creating more inclusive learning environments. Are there any real-world examples of this AI-powered education in action?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A bunch of companies and organizations are developing and using this stuff. Some schools are already incorporating AI tutors and personalized platforms into their teaching methods.
It's amazing to think how much AI could revolutionize education. Give everyone access to quality learning no matter where they are.
It's the dream, right? Democratize education, unlock opportunities for people who might not have had them otherwise.
It's like we're on the verge of a whole new era of learning, and AI is leading the charge.
I think you're right, and it goes beyond just personalized learning. AI is also being used to create intelligent tutoring systems that give students real-time feedback and guidance.
So it's like having a personal tutor available 24/7.
Pretty much. And these systems are getting really sophisticated. They use natural language processing and machine learning to actually understand a student's questions and provide tailored explanations.
That could be a game changer for subjects that a lot of students struggle with.
Exactly. It can help them overcome those hurdles and build confidence in their abilities.
So we've talked about AI in creative fields and education. What other areas are being impacted?
One that's really exciting is environmental conservation.
Environmental conservation. I wouldn't have guessed that one. How is AI being used to protect the environment?
In a lot of ways, actually. For example, AI is being used to analyze satellite imagery, to track deforestation, monitor wildlife, even predict natural disasters.
So AI is like our eyes in the sky, helping us protect the planet.
Kind of, yeah. It helps us spot threats early on so we can take action.
That's incredible. Are there any specific examples of this in action?
There's a project called Global Fishing Watch. It uses AI and machine learning to track fishing vessels all over the world,
What's the goal there?
combat illegal fishing, and protect those marine ecosystems. It's really making a difference.
Wow, that's fantastic. Any other examples that come to mind?
Definitely. Some organizations are using AI to develop smarter energy grids. That means optimizing energy consumption, relying less on fossil fuels.
So AI is helping us fight climate change too.
It's a powerful tool in the fight for a sustainable future.
This deep dive has been amazing. It really highlights how much potential AI has to benefit society.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It is. But we've also talked about some potential downsides. What are some things we need to keep in mind as AI keeps advancing?
We can't forget about the ethical side of things.
Ethics in AI, that's a big one.
Huge. We need to make sure AI is used responsibly and fairly, not making existing biases worse or creating new ones.
AI shouldn't be making the world less equitable.
Exactly. We need to design and implement these systems carefully. Make sure they reflect our values and promote a just society.
Easier said than done, I imagine.
Yeah.
We've also talked about transparency in AI development. Why is that so important?
Transparency builds trust and accountability. We need to understand how these AI systems work, how they make decisions, what data they were trained on.
That way we can spot potential biases and mitigate risks.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just the developers. We need public education and engagement. Make sure everyone understands the potential impacts of AI and has a voice in shaping its future.
AI is something that will affect all of us, so we all need to be part of the conversation, not just the experts.
I couldn't agree more. The future of AI is a shared one. We need a shared understanding of its potential and its limitations.
Well said. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from creative fields to education, environmental conservation, and even those ethical considerations. It's clear that AI is already having a huge impact.
And we're just scratching the surface.
Back again for part 3. I feel like we could talk about this stuff for hours.
There's so much to explore, right?
Seriously. We've covered AI that can handle massive amounts of information, tools that are helping people be more creative and learn in new ways. It's incredible.
And we've seen how AI is being used to tackle some really big problems, like protecting the environment and making tech more accessible.
This whole deep dive has really been eye-opening. What are some of the key takeaways you want our listeners to walk away with? What really stood out to you?
Well, for me, it's the sheer speed of innovation in AI. It feels like every day there's a new breakthrough or a new application that's changing the game.
It's a lot to keep up with. It's also incredibly exciting. AI is no longer just some futuristic concept, is it?
Nope, it's already here. It's already having a huge impact on our lives, from how we work to how we learn to how we interact with the world around us.
And it's only going to become more integrated into our lives as time goes on.
Absolutely. AI is becoming more and more pervasive, so it's important for everyone to have at least a basic understanding of how it works and what it means for us.
Okay, so how can our listeners stay informed? How can they keep up with this rapidly evolving field?
There are tons of resources out there. You can follow AI news websites and blogs, attend conferences and workshops, even take online courses to learn more.
And don't forget about those conversations about the ethical implications of AI. Those are crucial.
Couldn't agree more. AI is powerful, and we need to make sure it's being used responsibly and ethically. We need to talk about potential biases, privacy concerns, the need for transparency in AI development, all of that.
This deep dive has been so informative. I feel like I've learned so much. As we wrap things up here, is there any final message you want to leave our listeners with?
I'd say embrace the potential of AI to do good in the world, but stay aware of the challenges. Keep those conversations going, keep asking questions, and keep learning.
Well said. AI has the power to shape our world in incredible ways, and it's up to all of us to make sure it's used for good. So to everyone listening, what will you do with this knowledge? How does this change your perspective on the world of AI? That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions.